Captain Taeho Kim stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Force cruiser Indomitable *, his eyes fixed on the massive alien ship on the main screen. It shimmered like a star, all smooth curves and bright lights. Nothing like the hard angles and practical design of human warships. "They're hailing us again, Captain," said Lieutenant Ju-won Park from his station. "They seem very eager to talk." Taeho nodded. After 50 years of space travel, humans had finally met aliens. The Luminar, they called themselves. And they were not alone. They spoke of something called the Galactic Confederation, a group of 23 alien species. "Open the channel," Taeho ordered. The screen changed to show a tall, thin alien with pale blue skin and large, bright eyes. It was hard to tell if it was male or female. Maybe they didn't have such things. "Greetings again, Captain Kim of Earth," the alien said in perfect English. "I am High Consul Sil of the Luminar. We are pleased by your quick response to our invitation." Taeho nodded politely. "The people of Earth are honored to meet the Galactic Confederation. We have much to learn from you." Sil's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. "Indeed, your species is quite young in space travel. Our scans show your ship uses simple fusion engines and basic shield technology." "How quaint." Behind him, Taeho heard engineer Hae-jin Lee make a small noise. He ignored it. "We manage well enough," Taeho said calmly. "Not all species advance at the same rate." "True," Sil said. "The Luminar have been spacefaring for over 10,000 of your Earth years. We have much to teach you." Lieutenant Park stepped closer to Taeho and whispered, "Sir, they've been scanning our ship nonstop since we arrived. Should we raise shields?" "No," Taeho whispered back. "Let them look." Sil continued talking as if they couldn't see this exchange. "We would like to invite you aboard our vessel. A formal welcome to the Confederation. We are also interested in assessing your species." "Assessing?" asked Science Officer Jae-yun Kang from her station. "What does that mean?" Sil's large eyes blinked slowly. "All new species must be assessed for placement within the Confederation hierarchy. It is merely a formality. We scan your technology, your biology, your cultural database. Then we determine how you can best contribute." Taeho felt uneasy at these words. On Earth, hierarchies had often led to exploitation. "And if we refuse this assessment?" he asked. The alien's face hardened slightly. "That would be unusual. All Confederation members undergo assessment. It is the way things are done." Security Chief Dae-sung Choi moved to stand beside Taeho. "I don't like this, sir," he said quietly. "No one should have access to our military systems." Taeho nodded slightly, then addressed Sil again. "We would be happy to attend your welcome ceremony. As for the assessment, we will need to discuss this with our government." "Of course," Sil said, the smile returning. "Take all the time you need. However, know that until assessment, your species will be classified as a protectorate rather than a full member, with limited rights and privileges." After the communication ended, the bridge crew gathered around Taeho. "They look down on us," Park said angrily. "Did you hear how they talked about our technology?" Engineer Lee smiled for the first time. "Let them think our ships are simple. It's better that way." "What do you mean?" asked Jae-yun. Taeho exchanged looks with Lee. "Humanity survived centuries of war by learning one important lesson," the captain said. "Never show your full strength until you need it." "So we let them scan us?" Dae-sung asked, confused. "We let them scan what we want them to see," Taeho said. "Engineer Lee, prepare Protocol Mirage. Lieutenant Park, tell Earth we've made first contact." As the crew moved to their stations, Taeho looked again at the shining alien ship. The Luminar thought humans were simple, primitive beings. They would learn, as others had before them, that appearances could be very deceiving. "Protocol Mirage is ready, Captain," Engineer Hae-jin Lee reported. Her hands moved quickly over her tablet as she worked. Dark circles under her eyes showed she had not slept much. Captain Taho Kim nodded. "How much have you hidden?" "Almost everything important," He-Jin said with a small smile. "The Luminar will scan our ship and see only basic fusion engines, simple shields, and old-style weapons. They won't find our real engines or weapons. They won't see our AI systems or quantum computers. They will think we're about 100 years behind our technology." Lieutenant Ju-Won Park frowned. "Is that safe? What if they attack us?" "We can switch back to full power in seconds," Ho-Jin assured him. "But they won't attack. The Luminar think they're so advanced. They don't see us as a threat, just as some primitive species to control." Science Officer Jae-Yun Kang entered the bridge, looking worried. "Captain, I've been reading the information they sent us about the Confederation. Something doesn't feel right." "What do you mean?" Taiho asked. Jae-Yun pointed to her tablet. 23 species in the Confederation. But the records only go back about 2,000 years. What happened to all the alien civilizations before that? And look at this list of lost species. 7 different alien races that sadly became extinct in the last 500 years. The bridge grew quiet as everyone thought about this. All after they joined the Confederation. Security Chief Dae Sung Choi noted. All after they were assessed. Captain Taho stood up. "The assessment is in 2 hours. We will proceed as planned." He-Jin, make sure Protocol Mirage is perfect. The Luminar must not see what we don't want them to see. 2 hours later, the command crew of the Indomitable Asterisk stood in their dress uniforms as High Consul Sil and 3 other Luminar boarded their ship. The aliens were all tall, thin, and moved with smooth grace. "Welcome aboard," Taiho said with a bow. Zil looked around with those large, bright eyes. "Your ship is functional," the alien said in a way that was not really a compliment. "It serves our needs," Taiho replied simply. "We will begin the assessment now," Zil announced. One of the other Luminar took out a small silver device. "This will scan your ship's systems, your crew's biological data, and your computer files. Standard procedure for all new species." Jae-Yun stepped forward. "Will we get to see the results of this scan?" The Luminar looked at her with surprise. "That is not the usual procedure. The results help us place your species in the proper position within the Confederation." "And what position might that be?" asked Ju-Won, his voice carefully neutral. "Based on our initial scans, humans would qualify as a Level 3 civilization," Sil explained. "You would receive protection from the Confederation, limited trading rights, and guidance from more advanced species like the Luminar." "And what level are the Luminar?" asked He-Jin. "We are Level 1, of course," Sil said, as if this was obvious. "Now shall we begin?" The alien with the silver device moved around the bridge, scanning everything. The device made soft humming sounds. The alien checked the readings and whispered something to Sil, who nodded. "Your technology is as we expected," Sil said. "Basic but functional. Your species has potential, but needs guidance." Taiho noticed He-Jin, trying not to smile. The scan continued for another hour. The Luminar checked the engines, the weapon systems, and the computer cores. Everywhere they went, Protocol Mirage showed them only what He-Jin wanted them to see. Finally, Sil seemed satisfied. "The assessment is complete. Your species will be classified as Level 3 as expected. The Confederation welcomes humans as a protected species." After the Luminar left, the crew gathered on the bridge. "They have no idea what we're really capable of," He-Jin said. "Good," Taiho replied. "Because I don't trust them at all. And after seeing those records of extinct species, I think we need to be very careful about what the Confederation learns about Earth." Jae-Yun looked troubled. "So what do we do now, Captain?" Taiho's face was serious. "We learn everything we can about them, while showing them only what we want them to see. and we find out what really happened to those 7 extinct species. The Luminar ship sparkled with 1,000 lights as the shuttle from the Indomitable approached. Captain Tae-ho Kim sat beside Lieutenant Ju-won Park and Science Officer Jae-yun Kang. They were dressed in their best uniforms for the diplomatic function. "Remember," Tae-ho said quietly, "we are honored but humble. We show respect but not fear. We are grateful for their help but not desperate for it." Jae-yun nodded. "And we keep our eyes and ears open for any information about those extinct species." Back on the Indomitable asterisk, Security Chief Dae-sung Choi watched the shuttle dock with the Luminar ship. He had stayed behind with engineer Hae-jin Lee and a skeleton crew. Captain Kim had ordered them to keep the ship ready, just in case. "I don't like this," Dae-sung said. "The captain and senior officers shouldn't all be on their ship at once." Hae-jin was checking the ship's systems on her tablet. "The captain knows what he's doing. Besides, we're not helpless." A soft alarm beeped on Dae-sung's console. He frowned and tapped the screen. "We have a problem," he said. "There's another ship coming in fast. Not Luminar design." Hae-jin moved to his side. The Luminar said they were the only ones here. The new ship was small and dark, the opposite of the bright Luminar vessels. It moved like a shadow, coming closer to the Indomitable asterisk. "They're trying to match with our docking port," Dae-sung said. "No communication, no permission asked." He tapped his comm. "Captain, unknown vessel attempting to board us. Please advise." Static answered him. "They're jamming us," Hae-jin said. "We're on our own." Dae-sung stood up. "Battle stations. Security teams to the docking port." "Hae-jin, we may need to wake up our real systems." On the Luminar ship, Captain Tae-ho and his officers were surrounded by aliens of many different species. Some looked almost human. Others were completely different, with multiple limbs or strange features. High Consul Sil introduced them to everyone. "These are the humans, our newest Level 3 species." Some aliens nodded politely. Others seemed to look at them with pity. A tall, gray-skinned alien with 4 arms approached them. "I am Ambassador Krell of the Meridians. We were once Level 3 like you. Now we are Level 2. He leaned closer. "Some advice, human. Do not innovate too quickly. The Luminar do not like surprises." Before Tae-ho could ask what he meant, Sil appeared beside them. "Ambassador Krell, I see you're welcoming our new friends." The Luminar's voice was pleasant, but there was something cold in those large eyes. Krell straightened up. "Of course, just sharing experiences." Sil guided Tae-ho away. "The Meridians are progressing well, but they sometimes forget their place." Jae-yun caught Tae-ho's eye and gave a small nod. She had been listening. Back on the Indomitable asterisk, Dae-sung watched through security cameras as the airlock opened. 6 aliens entered, tall and black-skinned with red eyes. They carried weapons. "Voidborn," Hae-jin whispered. "The Luminar records mention them. They're not part of the Confederation." The aliens moved through the ship, checking systems and taking readings. "They're doing their own scan," Dae-sung realized. "They're after our technology. They're seeing the same fake systems the Luminar saw." Hae-jin said, "Protocol Mirage is still running." One of the Voidborn spoke into a device. "The humans are primitive. Level 3 at best. Nothing worth taking." Dae-sung smiled grimly. "Let's show them how primitive we really are." He tapped a code into his console. "Protocol Dragon. Authorization, Choi Alpha 7. Throughout the ship, hidden systems came to life. Force fields appeared around the intruders, trapping them in place. The lights changed to red. "What is this?" one of the Voidborn shouted. "Your ship doesn't have this technology." Hae-jin walked up to the force field. "There's a lot our ship doesn't have, according to your scans." On the Luminar ship, Tae-ho was trying to learn more from the other species when his hidden communicator vibrated. He excused himself and found a quiet corner. "Kim here," he said softly. "Captain, it's Dae-sung. We've captured 6 Voidborn trying to steal our technology. They thought we were primitive, thanks to Protocol Mirage. They were wrong. Taiho's face hardened. Hold them for questioning. I want to know who sent them. And why they thought our primitive ship was worth stealing. Yes, sir. And Captain, I think we're not the first to be tested like this. Taiho looked across the room at the many alien species, all arranged in their neat hierarchy. No, he said, I don't think we are. Communications specialist Minna Song sat at her station on the Indomitable asterisk, her forehead wrinkled in concentration. She had been working for hours, trying to crack the code of the Luminar transmissions. Anything yet? Captain Taiho Kim asked, standing behind her. Minna shook her head. Their encryption is good, but not perfect. I've asked our ship's AI to help me. Taiho raised an eyebrow. You told the AI to break alien codes. Is that safe? Don't worry, Captain, Minna said with a smile. Our AI is isolated from the ship's main systems. The Luminar can't detect it, and it can't control our ship if something goes wrong. In the ship's break, Security Chief Dae-sung Choi was questioning the Voidborn prisoners. The aliens sat behind a clear barrier, their red eyes watching him. Who sent you? Dae-sung asked for the 3rd time. The lead Voidborn finally spoke. We came on our own. We heard about a new species joining the Confederation. We wanted to see if you had anything worth taking. Lieutenant Ju-won Park, who was observing, frowned. You expect us to believe that? You just happened to attack when our captain was away. The Voidborn hissed softly. Believe what you want, but you should know that we are not your enemy. The real danger is much closer. You mean the Luminar, Dae-sung said. The alien's red eyes narrowed. You are smarter than they think. Good. You might survive longer than the others. What others? Ju-won demanded. Ask about the Zentari, the Voidborn said. Ask about the Krith. Ask why no one has heard from them in over 100 years, even though they were once part of the Great Confederation. Back on the bridge, Minna suddenly sat up straight. Captain, I've got it. The AI broke their encryption. Taiho hurried to her station. What did you find? Minna's fingers flew over her console as text and images appeared on the screen. These are messages between High Consul Sil and the Luminar homeworld. They're talking about us, about Earth. She pointed to one message. Look here. Human technology assessment complete. Primitive, but with concerning potential for rapid development. Recommend immediate oversight installation and technology restriction protocols. Taiho's face darkened. They want to control our development. There's more, Minna said grimly. She pulled up another message. This one mentions something called the Containment Protocol. It lists species that were removed. Removed? Taiho repeated. Eliminated, Minna said quietly. The Zentari developed quantum shielding that could block Luminar weapons. The Krith created an AI that could predict Luminar strategies. The Pellerin built ships that could match Luminar speed. And they're all gone now, Taiho said. Yes, the Luminar found out during their assessments, then destroyed them. They eliminate any species that might one day challenge them. Science officer Jai-Yun Kang, who had been listening, spoke up. But how? The Luminar claim to be peaceful. They can't just destroy entire species without the Confederation knowing. Minna pulled up more information. They don't do it directly. They use the Voidborn as mercenaries, or they turn other Confederation species against the target. Sometimes, they just sabotage key systems and make it look like an accident. Lieutenant Ju-won entered the bridge, followed by Dae-sung. Captain, you need to hear what the Voidborn told us. About the Zentari and the Krith. Taiho asked. We already know. Minna broke the Luminar codes. He gestured at the screen, showing the list of eliminated species. The Luminar are planning something for Earth, Taiho said. They think we're primitive now, but they're worried about how fast we might develop. We should leave immediately, Ju-won said. Return to Earth. Warn our people. Tai-Ho shook his head. If we run, they'll just follow us home. We need to deal with this threat here. How? Jia-Yun asked. We're just one ship against the entire Confederation. Tai-Ho smiled slowly. Are we? Minna, in those transmissions, did you find any mention of other species that worry the Luminar? Minna nodded. 3 others are on their watch list. The Taurans, the Meridians, and the Krell. Good, Tai-Ho said. Then we're not alone. He turned to his officers. The Luminar have made a serious mistake. They think we're weak because their scans showed them what we wanted them to see. But I wonder, what if other species did the same thing? Captain Tai-Ho Kim's plan was risky. Meeting secretly with other species could be seen as plotting against the Confederation. But after what they had learned about the Luminar, he had no choice. The meeting place was an unused storage area on the Confederation space station. Tai-Ho arrived with Lieutenant Ju-Won Park and Medical Officer Sung Min-Yoon. They waited nervously, wondering if anyone would come. Are you sure this is safe? Ju-Won asked, checking the door again. No, Tai-Ho admitted, but it's necessary. The door slid open. The tall, gray-skinned alien with 4 arms entered. Ambassador Krell of the Meridians. You are either very brave or very foolish, human, Krell said. I hope it's a bit of both, Tai-Ho replied with a small smile. 2 more aliens entered. One was large and muscular, with thick, brown skin and small eyes. The other was shorter, with blue-green scales and a long neck. Captain Mox of the Taurans, the large one said. Commander Lisk of the Krell, said the scaled one. Tai-Ho bowed slightly. Thank you all for coming. We have much to discuss. Yes, said Krell. Like why the Luminar have suddenly increased patrols near all our home systems, and why they're pushing for technology sharing agreements that only seem to go one way, added Mox. Tai-Ho nodded. We've discovered something troubling about the Luminar. They'd been eliminating species they see as threats. The 3 aliens looked at each other. They didn't seem surprised. We suspected as much, Lisk said. The Zentari were our allies. Then one day, they were just gone. The Luminar said it was a terrible accident. It was no accident, Tai-Ho said. We have proof. The Luminar target any species with military technology that could challenge them. Medical Officer Sung Min stepped forward. I studied the biology of all our species. Do you know what we have in common? The aliens looked confused. We all evolved on high-gravity, high-radiation planets, Sung Min explained. Our bodies are naturally stronger, more resilient. Our minds had to develop faster to survive. The Luminar world is gentle, with low gravity and little radiation. So they fear our potential, Mox said, understanding. Tai-Ho nodded. The Luminar use their assessments to find threats. But there's something they don't know about humans. We hide our true strength. He told them about Protocol Mirage, about how the human ship appeared primitive to scans. Krell's 4 hands moved in an excited gesture. We do something similar. We call it shadow systems. Our ships have 2 sets of everything. The ones the Luminar can see, and the real ones. Lisk bobbed his long neck. The Krell use phantom tech. Our best systems are invisible to scans. The Taurans have stealth cores, Mox added. Our ships look basic but can fight like demons. Tai-Ho smiled broadly. So we've all been hiding our true capabilities. The Luminar think we're weak, primitive. We must keep it that way, Lisk warned. If they learn the truth. They already suspect something, Ju-Won said. That's why they're increasing patrols, pushing for more oversight. Tai-Ho leaned forward. I have a proposal. An alliance between our 4 species. We share our real technologies with each other, but keep hiding them from the Luminar. And then what? Krell asked. Then we find a way to stop them from threatening any more species, Tai-Ho said firmly. Together. The aliens were quiet for a moment. The Meridians will join you, Krell finally said. The Krell as well, Lisk agreed. Mox nodded his large head. The Taurens stand with you. They each placed a hand, or in Krell's case, hands, in the center of their circle. From this moment, we are allies, Taiho said. We will share our true strength with each other and prepare for what's coming. As they left the meeting, Ju-1 walked beside Taiho. Do you think it will work, Captain? 4 species against the entire Confederation. Taiho's eyes were determined. It's not 4 species against the Confederation. It's 4 honest species against one dishonest one that controls the rest. The Luminar have been playing this game for thousands of years, Lieutenant. And we're going to change the rules, Ju-1 realized. Exactly, Taiho said. They've never faced an enemy they couldn't see coming. Until now. The Grand Hall of the Confederation Space Station sparkled with lights. Representatives from all 23 species gathered for the summit meeting. Captain Taiho Kim and his officers stood in their dress uniforms, watching and waiting. They're here, Lieutenant Ju-1 Park whispered. High Consul Sil entered with a group of important-looking Luminar. They moved to the front of the hall, and everyone grew quiet. Honored representatives of the Galactic Confederation, Sil began, voice smooth and pleasant. We gather today to discuss matters of great importance. First, I am pleased to announce our newest addition, the humans of Earth. Polite applause filled the room. Taiho nodded respectfully. As a Level 3 civilization, the humans will benefit greatly from our guidance, Sil continued. In fact, the Luminar High Council has decided to establish a permanent oversight presence in their home system. A fleet will depart for Earth next week to begin this important work. Taiho felt cold anger rise inside him. This was happening even faster than they had feared. The oversight fleet will ensure that human technological development proceeds in an orderly fashion, Sil explained. Certain military technologies will be restricted, of course, for their own safety. Tactical Officer Jae-hyun Ryu leaned close to Taiho. It's a control mission, sir. Once they establish themselves at Earth, we'll never get them out. Taiho nodded slightly. It was time to act. He caught the eye of Ambassador Krell across the room. The Meridian gave a tiny nod. Nearby, Captain Mox of the Taurens and Commander Lisk of the Krell also nodded. They were ready. Taiho gave a slight hand signal to Jae-hyun. Proceed as planned. Back on the Indomitable Asterisk, Jae-hyun accessed the ship's weapons control. With careful precision, he activated a small targeting system. Not enough to fire weapons, but enough to make it look like the system had activated accidentally. On the Luminar ships nearby, alarms sounded. Sil's communicator beeped urgently in the middle of the summit. High Consul, a voice said, loud enough for others to hear. The human ship has activated weapons targeting. They're locked onto the Luminous Dawn asterisk. The room erupted in shocked murmurs. Sil's large eyes fixed on Taiho. Captain Kim, Sil said coldly. Explain this hostile action immediately. Taiho looked appropriately shocked and confused. There must be some mistake. We would never. The evidence is clear, Sil interrupted. Your primitive systems must have malfunctioned. This proves humans are not ready for space travel without proper oversight. Jae-hyun's voice came through Taiho's communicator. Captain, Luminar vessels are powering weapons. They're targeting us. Taiho raised his hands. High Consul, if there is a malfunction, we will fix it. There's no need for. A brilliant beam of energy struck the Indomitable Asterisk. The lights in the summit hall flickered as everyone gasped. A necessary security measure, Sil announced. The human vessel has been disabled until we can ensure it poses no threat. On the main screen, the Indomitable Asterisk appeared to drift helplessly, parts of its hull glowing red from the hit. Ju-1 whispered urgently, Captain, they just fired on our ship in peacetime. That's an act of war. Yes, Taiho said quietly, just as we expected. They took the bait. Engineer Hae-jin Lee's voice came through their secure communicator. Protocol Mirage working perfectly, Captain. They think they've crippled us. All real systems intact and ready. Zil was still speaking. In light of this unfortunate incident, the Luminar will take temporary control of the human vessel. A boarding party will. I don't think that will be necessary. Taiho interrupted, stepping forward. All eyes turned to him. High Consul, Taiho said clearly, so everyone could hear. You just fired on a ship that posed no actual threat. You've revealed your true intentions toward Earth. Your primitive vessel malfunctioned. Sil insisted. This proves why humans need our guidance. Taiho smiled for the first time. You know what's interesting about humans, High Consul? We've survived thousands of years of our own wars by learning one important lesson. And what lesson is that? Sil asked with obvious disdain. Never show your enemy your true strength. Taiho said, until you're ready to use it. He tapped his communicator. Engineer Lee, deactivate Protocol Mirage. Show them who we really are. On the main screen, the damaged Indomitable asterisk suddenly changed. The damage disappeared as hidden systems came online. The ship glowed with power that no Level 3 civilization should possess. What is this? Seal demanded, large eyes widening in shock. This, said Taiho, is humanity's real face, and we're not alone. The grand hall of the Confederation space station fell silent. Everyone stared at the main screen showing the Indomitable asterisk. The ship that had appeared damaged and powerless now glowed with energy. Its hull shimmered with advanced shields that no Level 3 civilization should have. High Consul Sil's pale blue face turned even paler. This is impossible. Our scans showed. Your scans showed exactly what we wanted them to see, Captain Taiho Kim said calmly. Humans have a long history of hiding our true strength from potential enemies. On the Indomitable asterisk, Engineer Heijin Lee sat at her control station, smiling as she activated more systems. Layers of hidden technology came to life throughout the ship. Weapons arrays emerged from concealed ports. Engines glowed with power far beyond simple fusion drives. All systems online, Captain, Heijin reported. No damage from their attack. Our real shields absorbed everything. Security Chief Dae-sung Choi stood beside her. The Luminar ships are moving to attack position. They're powering up weapons. Let them come, Heijin said confidently. They have no idea what they're facing. Back at the summit, chaos was spreading. Representatives from many species were shouting questions or backing away in fear. You have violated Confederation law. Sil shouted at Taiho. Concealing military technology is forbidden. Is it? Taiho asked. Or is that just another rule the Luminar created to keep others weak? He looked around the room. The Luminar have been eliminating any species that develop technology that might challenge them. The Zentari, the Krith, the Pellerin, all gone because they became too advanced. Murmurs of shock filled the room. Many representatives looked at the Luminar with new suspicion. Zil's voice turned cold. These are dangerous lies. The human must be removed. 2 Luminar guards moved toward Taiho. But before they reached him, Ambassador Krell of the Meridians stepped between them. I stand with the humans, Krell declared, his 4 arms spread wide. Then Captain Mox of the Taurans moved to Taiho's side, as do the Taurans. Commander Lisk joined them, and the Krell. Throughout the hall, representatives watched in confusion as the 4 inferior species united against the Luminar. On the main screen, more ships appeared beside the Indomitable asterisk. A Meridian cruiser, a Tauran battleship, and a Krell scout vessel. All of them suddenly transformed as they dropped their own concealment protocols. Hidden weapons, advanced shields, and powerful engines revealed themselves. You're not the only ones who have been hiding, Taiho told Sil. We've all been protecting ourselves from you. Sil backed away, clearly stunned. This changes nothing. The Luminar fleet will. The screen split to show another view. The Luminar ships attacking the Indomitable asterisk were being easily held back. Their weapons could not penetrate the human ship's real shields. Your weapons were designed to fight the technologies you know about, Taiho explained. But we've developed along different paths, hidden paths. You don't know how to counter what you've never seen. On the Indomitable Asterisk, Tactical Officer Jaehyun Ryu watched as the Luminar ships fired again and again with no effect. Their weapons are powerful, he noted, but predictable. They haven't faced a real challenge in centuries. Should we return fire? Asked one of his officers. Jaehyun shook his head. Not yet. The captain wants to solve this without destruction if possible. In the summit hall, other species were beginning to speak up. The Luminar restricted our research into quantum fields, said the Voltar representative. They stopped us from developing new drive systems, added the Felvin delegate. They said it was for safety, said another, but now I wonder. Zil looked around as support for the Luminar visibly crumbled. This is treason. The Confederation has existed peacefully for thousands of years under Luminar guidance. Peacefully? Taiho asked. Or just quietly? How many species disappeared while everyone else stayed silent out of fear? He stepped closer to Exil. The age of Luminar control is over. We offer you a choice. Join us as equals in a new confederation, or continue this fight that you cannot win. Sil's large eyes narrowed. The Luminar will never surrender our rightful place. The High Consul tapped a hidden communicator. Execute Contingency Omega. Target the human homeworld directly. Gasps filled the room. Even other Luminar looked shocked. Taiho's face hardened. So that's your answer. He tapped his own communicator. All ships, defensive positions. The real battle begins now. Alarms blared throughout the space station as panic spread. Captain Taiho Kim rushed back to the Indomitable Asterisk with his officers, while their new allies returned to their own ships. Status report, Taiho demanded as he reached the bridge. Lieutenant Ju-Won Park looked up from his console. The Luminar have called in their entire local fleet. 30 warships are converging on our position, and 3 larger vessels have broken formation, added communications specialist Minna Song. They're headed directly for the Sol system. Earth. Taiho's face hardened. Navigator Yi-Jin Huang, plot an intercept course. We need to catch those ships before they reach Earth. Yi-Jin, a quiet woman who rarely spoke unless necessary, nodded. Standard engines won't be fast enough, Captain. We'll need to use the Phoenix Drive. The bridge crew exchanged looks. The Phoenix Drive was their most secret technology, hidden even from their new allies. Do it, Taiho ordered. Engineer Lee, prepare the Phoenix Drive. In the engine room, Hu-Jin smiled as she removed the final locks on the ship's true power source. I've been waiting to show this baby what she can really do. On the main screen, the allied ships of the Meridians, Taurans, and Krell moved into formation with the Indomitable Asterisk. Captain Kim, Ambassador Krell's voice came through. The Luminar fleet is too large. We should combine our forces. No, Taiho responded. Your ships must protect the station and the other representatives. The Indomitable Asterisk will pursue the ships headed for Earth. 1 ship against 3 Luminar cruisers. Captain Mox of the Taurans sounded worried. Even with your hidden technology, those are bad odds. Trust me, Taiho said simply. We have one more surprise left. The Indomitable Asterisk broke away from the Allied formation, turning toward the distant vessels racing toward Earth. Phoenix Drive engaged in 3, 2, 1. He-Jin counted down. Suddenly, the Indomitable Asterisk was surrounded by swirling golden energy. In a flash of light that temporarily blinded all nearby sensors, the ship vanished. High Consul Xil, watching from the command ship of the Luminar fleet, stared in disbelief. What just happened? Where did they go? His question was answered moments later when the Indomitable Asterisk reappeared directly in front of the 3 ships headed for Earth, thousands of light years away in mere seconds. Inside the human ship, the crew held on as the vessel stabilized. Phoenix drive successful, He-Jin reported proudly. First combat use, and she performed perfectly. Luminar ships directly ahead. Tactical Officer Jae-hyun Ryu announced. They're charging weapons. Target their engines only, Tae-ho ordered. We want to stop them, not destroy them. The Indomitable fired precise beams of energy that sliced through the Luminar ship shields as if they weren't there. Their engines went dark, leaving them drifting in space. How? One of the Luminar captains transmitted. Our shields are the most advanced in the galaxy. We're the most advanced, Jae-hyun corrected. Your shields were designed to stop energy weapons, you understand. Ours work differently. Back at the space station, the battle was not going well for the Luminar. Their weapons couldn't penetrate the hidden shields of the Allied ships, while their own defenses were failing against unfamiliar attack methods. High Consul Xil watched his fleet crumble. This cannot be happening. We are the Luminar. We have guided the galaxy for thousands of years. But ship after ship was being disabled by the combined forces of the Meridians, Taurans, and Krell. On the Indomitable Minna received a priority transmission. Captain, it's High Consul Xil. He's activated something called the Omega weapon on his command ship. Sensors showed a massive energy buildup in the Luminar flagship. He's going to destroy the station, Yi-Jin realized, with all the representatives still on board. How fast can we get back there with the Phoenix drive? Tae-ho asked. He-Jin looked grim. The drive needs time to recharge. We're still 15 minutes away at maximum conventional speed. Tae-ho stood from his chair. That's not fast enough. Navigator Huang, is there any way to get there sooner? Yi-Jin was quiet for a moment, then looked up with determination in her eyes. There is one way, Captain, but it's never been tested in combat. The quantum fold. The theoretical calculations alone took 3 years, He-Jin protested. We've only run simulations. Will it work? Tae-ho asked simply. Yi-Jin nodded. I believe so, Captain. Then do it, Tae-ho ordered. All hands, brace for quantum fold. The space around the Confederation station warped and twisted. In a flash of brilliant blue light, the Indomitable appeared between the station and the Luminar flagship. The human ship's hull glowed with strange energies never before seen in the galaxy. Quantum fold successful, Navigator Yi-Jin Huang announced, her voice showing rare emotion. We made it. On the main screen, the Luminar flagship pulsed with red energy as the Omega weapon charge. Target their weapon systems, Captain Tae-ho Kim ordered. Full power to forward shields. Tactical Officer Jae-hyun Ryu's fingers flew across his console. Firing now. The Indomitable released a concentrated beam of energy that cut through the Luminar flagship's defenses like they weren't there. The red glow of the Omega weapon faded instantly. Their main weapon is disabled, Jae-hyun reported. But their ship is becoming unstable. The energy had nowhere to go. The Luminar flagship will explode in approximately 1 minute, Science Officer Jae-yun Kang warned. The blast will still destroy the station and everyone on it. Tae-ho made his decision instantly. Move us between the flagship and the station. Extend shields to maximum. Lieutenant Ju-won Park looked alarmed. Sir, even our shields might not withstand that explosion at close range. Then we'll just have to hold them together through sheer stubbornness, Tae-ho said with a grim smile. It's what humans do best. The Indomitable moved into position as the Luminar flagship began to break apart. Brace for impact, Tae-ho shouted. The explosion was blinding. The Indomitable shuddered as unimaginable energy slammed into its shields. In the engine room, Engineer He-Jin Lee worked frantically to maintain power. The shields are failing, she called out. We can't hold it much longer. On the bridge, Tae-ho stood firm. Reroute all power, even life support if necessary. We need to hold for just 30 more seconds. The ship groaned around them as the blast continued. Systems failed across the board, but the shields held just long enough for the worst of the explosion to dissipate. When the light faded, the Indomitable Asterisk still floated in space, damaged but intact. The station and the representatives were safe. 1 month later, Captain Tae-ho Kim, now promoted to admiral, stood in the new council chamber. Representatives from all species gathered for the signing of the new Confederation Charter. The old Confederation was built on lies and fear, Tae-ho said to the assembly. The new one will be built on truth and respect. The first article of the new charter was called the Sentinel Protocol. It established that all species have the right to develop their own military technology in secret while sharing scientific and medical advances openly. Military innovation will remain private, Tae-ho explained. But we will share knowledge that helps everyone. Ambassador Krell of the Meridian stepped forward. The humans taught us that strength kept hidden is sometimes the best defense against those who would abuse power. Even the Luminar were present, though greatly humbled. Their new leader, Consul Tav, had replaced Axel. The Luminar acknowledge our mistakes, Tav said formally. We will join this new confederation as equals, not leaders. Later, aboard the repaired Indomitable Asterisk, Engineer Hae-Jin Lee worked on the next generation of Protocol Mirage. Admiral Kim found her in the engine room. Still hiding our best secrets, Engineer? He asked with a smile. Hae-Jin nodded. Old habits die hard, sir. Besides, the Sentinel Protocol says we can. Indeed it does, Tae-ho agreed. I've seen the Luminar historical archives. Do you know what they added to their entry about humans? What's that, sir? Never scan a human warship, Tae-ho quoted, for what you see is merely what they wish you to see. Hae-Jin laughed. Good advice. As the Indomitable Asterisk prepared for its journey home to Earth, Tae-ho looked out at the stars. The galaxy was changing, becoming more balanced, more fair. But still, the humans would keep some secrets. It was their nature, their strength. After all, the brightest aliens had learned their lesson. Never trust what your scanners tell you about a human ship. The truth is always hidden deeper than any scan can reach.